Hello and welcome back. Today's video is going to be about 10 eyeshadow palettes that I am still dreaming of buying and I haven't pulled the trigger. These are palettes that I've wanted. Some I've wanted these for years, some, more like a couple of months. And yeah, I thought it would just be fun to talk about. So please let us know, what eyeshadow palettes you're dreaming about. And I do literally dream of makeup. Kind of sad, I know. Does anyone else? I dream about makeup all the time, but it's something I think about all the time, so that's probably why. Some of these I will probably never purchase, but some of these I may actually purchase at some point. So I thought it would be fun to talk about, and let's get into it. And if you're interested in this eye look, I did film it and I will link that in the description box. And number one is the Natasha Denona Blue Green palette. This is $239. Yeah, I do have 3 Natasha Denona palettes, the Metropolis and 2 minis, and I love them. It is one of my favorite formulas that I have in my collection, and I definitely want to try more. This palette has been out for many years, and I've wanted to buy it, but yeah, the over $200 price tag, I just can't do it, and I probably won't get this one, but I am interested in trying more Natasha Denona palettes. Unfortunately, it will not be the blue-green palette, but we shall see. Number 2 is the Viseart Cool Neutral Matte Palette. This is $80 and I've kind of wanted to just try Viseart in general, but out of the luxury higher end eyeshadow formulas, this is the one that I have heard the most mixed reviews on. I will say that most videos I see about Natasha Denona or Pat McGrath, people do really like those eyeshadows, but Viseart, some people have said that they're not that great and that they're a bit overrated. Although some people love them. So that's kind of why I've held back on purchasing from them. Plus, $80 for some neutral matte eyeshadows that I probably already have in my collection seems kind of unnecessary, but I think it's one of those just like the curiosity gets me. I want to know, and I have tried a lot of different eyeshadow formulas and I'm curious, is Viseart that good? If you have Viseart shadows, I would really love to know your opinion. Number 3 is on a total different spectrum, a much more affordable palette, and that is the ColourPop Aha Honey palette. This is only $12. And you may be wondering, well, it's only $12. Why didn't you buy it? Well, I have yellow eyeshadows in my collection and I don't wear yellow eyeshadow all that much. There's also a pressed glitter in this, but I still think it's beautiful. I really don't think I need it because, again, I don't wear yellow eyeshadow that often, and when I do, I have plenty of random yellows in other palettes, and I have a few yellow single eyeshadows as well. I actually did a dupes video on this palette, but yeah, I still think about it, and when I see people use it in YouTube videos, I get kind of jealous, but I'm trying to hold off just because I don't think I'd use it that much. Number 4 is another one from ColourPop. This one I actually am considering getting at some point, and that is the Sweet Talk palette. This is so pretty, very kind of peachy, coral, pinky. I love pink eyeshadow. This one I think is a bit monochromatic, but it has more variety than some of those 9-pan palettes. This one is a little bit more expensive. I think it's $18. This is sold at Ulta now, so I may purchase it at Ulta at some point in the future. I'm not sure, but I've heard so many positive things about this palette. I'm pretty sure this one has a pressed glitter in it as well, which whatever on that, I guess, but I've just heard so many great things, and this one still tempts me, even though it's been out for like over a year. Number 5 is kind of the inspiration to this video because I literally had a dream about it about a week ago because I want it so bad. That is the Dose of Colors Pretty Cool palette, and this is cool brown matte eyeshadows. Pretty basic, but I did a video, I think a month or two ago, about my favorite cool neutral eyeshadow palettes in my collection, and I don't have that many actually. And again, I don't think I need this one, but it's sold out everywhere. So even if I wanted to buy it, I can't. It's sold out on Ulta, it's sold out on the Dose of Colors. A couple other websites I checked that sells Dose of Colors, all sold out of this palette. So I'm thinking clearly must be good because everybody bought it. Don't need it, but this is one. If it comes back in stock at Ulta, I would get it. Number 6 is kind of in general more of the Huda Beauty 9-pan palettes, particularly the smoky one, but I just bought my first Huda palette about 2 months ago and it's amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. The quality is fantastic. I had never used the brand before and people were saying such positive things, and yeah, it blew me away. It's a really good formula. So now I want to get more of her palettes. I know I don't need them, but they are more on the affordable side for high-end. Her 9-pan palettes are about $27 to $29, which is not that crazy. She has larger palettes, about $65, but yeah, definitely considering getting more of those, maybe at some point. Number 7 is the Anastasia and Amrezy palette, the new one. It's $49, and I've heard so many positive things about it. It's a beautiful combo of neutrals and colorful eyeshadows, but I definitely think I have all of these colors in my collection, and there's 2 pressed glitters, and I will say I did swatch this one at Sephora recently. It didn't really wow me in the swatches, and I felt like I had all those colors in my collection over and over again. So this is probably one I won't buy. I still think about it, I'm still considering it, but I probably won't get it, although the packaging is so beautiful. Number 8 is probably one I would get at some point, and that is the ColourPop Going Coconuts palette. This is only $12. This is one of those 9-pan ones. This is so pretty, and this is, again, I'm like, I don't need more neutrals, but this one does lean more cool toned than a lot of other palettes on the market. Like I said, I want more cool tones, and I've seen people do some swatch comparisons to the Natasha Denona Mini Glam palette, which is also one I've considered purchasing, and there seems to be some major similarities, and you do get more shades in the ColourPop, and I love the ColourPop formula. So yeah, I've heard so many positive things about this one, and it's funny because when it came out I thought, wow, this is so boring, just like totally basic neutral palette, but now everybody's been raving about it and I really want to get it. And number 9 is the Juvia's Place Tribe palette. This is their more green type of palette. There's also some oranges. I've wanted this since it came out, which was, I think, well over a year ago. It is beautiful. You guys know I love the Juvia's Place formula. I talk about it all the time. It's amazing. But again, I think I have all these colors in my collection, and I just don't think I'd reach for it that much because it's a green palette. I have plenty of green eyeshadows. Green, I do wear green eyeshadow, but not that often. So again, I just don't think I'd get that good of use out of it, but it's beautiful and it's only $20 and I love the formula. But yeah, I think I'm gonna keep skipping over it, but it's one that whenever I go on the Ulta website, I kind of look back at it and I think, maybe I should get this. All right, last up, number 10 is another Pat McGrath palette. This one is the Mothership 5, and this is the one that has the gorgeous red in it and some duochromes. And I do own the Mothership 2, and I've talked about that. I got it for Christmas, and I do think it's really good. I don't know that it's $125 good though, but it is really good. And I mentioned that in a video earlier this year when I got that palette, that I'm not sure it's worth the price tag, but it is good. And I do love those like transformative, really shimmery, glittery shades that she has. And the ones in the Mothership 5 look amazing. I've heard fantastic reviews, but it's also $125, which is really crazy. And I will say that packaging that she has on these palette is super luxe and beautiful, but it's also incredibly heavy and thick, and it does take up a lot of space. It takes up the space of 2 palettes in my eyeshadow drawer because it's so thick. So that actually holds me back from buying more Pat McGrath palettes as well. Although she does have some of those smaller palettes, which is kind of something I'm considering. She has those really mini ones that you can buy at Sephora that I think are only $25. And then she has some 6-pan palettes that are more around the $60 mark. Maybe I'll get that, I don't know, but I do love these larger Mothership palettes. It's so beautiful and luxurious. But again, the packaging, it's a bit much. It is beautiful, but it's a bit much. So we shall see if I end up getting more Pat McGrath. Like I said, I like it, but I'm just not 100% sure it's really worth the price tag. Honestly, though, I will say for the Natasha Denona that I've tried, I have no like qualms about those. Like the Metropolis palette, I think for me was well worth the $129 I paid for it. And then I do have 2 of her mini palettes, which those are only $25, but after having tried one Pat McGrath palette, I'm not 100% sold on Pat McGrath, but I do think I may give it another chance. Alrighty, that is it for this video. 10 palettes that I am still dreaming about, still thinking about. I may end up purchasing some of these. A lot of these I probably will not get. Let us know what you think. If you have these, I would love to know your opinion. If they are worth the hype, if I should bother spending my money on them or not. That is it for this video, and thank you so much for watching.